All right. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yay. Awesome. Perfect. What is going through my brain today, dear human people, is how regenerative relationships play into our expansion, into especially if we have businesses, we're working on our finances, sales, all those things. Regenerative relationships are going to help you become and hold that new capacity, that new growth, and it's going to help you find a new baseline. And I'm speaking from very real lived experience, having just come out of a very extractive healer spiritual space and into regenerative collaborations, regenerative spaces with community, people, leaders who actually see my value and trust it. And when you are in an extractive space, an extraction in communal spaces, that looks like several things. One, it looks like a ton of upselling without giving value back to the people. It looks like taking ideas and modalities and copying copying people's ideas as your own. This happened in a healer space I was training in to me and three or four other people. And what I noticed about that group is everyone's energy was very boxed in. People were going through severe depression. They were newly sober. People were going through very big issues with elder care and concern about losing their homes, their jobs. I mean, their whole financial floor just falling out from under them. And at no point in time was that leader or person meeting the community with helpful resources or information. It was all just about their modality, their sales, like they're truly like their financial well-being and nobody else. It was one of the wildest experiences I have ever gone through in any type of space. And then the contrast of holding that, and even my own energy was very boxed in there. Like I felt like I couldn't really expand. I like my wingspan was getting stuck at a certain place. And I knew I had momentum, I had ideas, I had clients, like I was building momentum here. But just the practices that I was watching unfold from this person was just gross, dude. I was just like, how can people operate like this? Like it just breaks my brain. Um, and I have this beautiful contrast because I have several other communities I'm in where autonomy is valued, where they're very egalitarian, meaning like you are a sovereign person and that is honored and respected, where consent is important when it comes to idea sharing, resource sharing, and all of that. And the more I looked at those communities and compared it to this other one, the more I saw I'm not going to grow here. I'm not going to grow in a place that is or with a person or community that is constantly taking and taking and taking from me. And it's one of those things where there's a lot of shadow integration and a lot of shadow work that has to happen in order for that type of person to even clock what they're doing. Like we are so trained in this culture to extract because we are constantly extracted from, but that also means that there are people who are already doing the work of recalibrating that and course correcting that and integrating that. And I had the absolute, and I still have the absolute honor of being in those spaces. And that looks like when I share ideas, no one is talking about them outside of the private calls that I'm on. They are actively contributing to my well-being and I'm contributing to theirs. And when there's rupture in communities, we're able to come together and look at how can we repair this going forward? What resources do our people need so that they can be well? And I don't know, I'm an energy healer, y'all. I fucks with the Reiki. I fucks with the quantum healing. My clients are proof of their transformations to me are proof of the efficacy of this work that I do with them. And all of that matters so much more than I can't wrap my head around wanting to take from people at that level. But we live in a capitalist society, and capitalism is a form of extraction. And whenever we have that so embodied in ourselves, it's hard to like, when it's embodied not just in ourselves, but in our psyches, our nervous systems, our bodies, like our thought processes, it's a lot to have to like sift through and decipher through. But when you're in correct community, your manifestations are going to happen faster. your success is going to happen faster because those people, places, and spaces are aligned for you. And when your external aligns with your internal, baby, that's a sweet spot. Like that's where life just completely blows open. And it's like one of the most beautiful things I have personally experienced as we've closed out 2025. We are now in 2026. Was really being able to sit with the contrast of what extraction felt like and looked like and how it did damage to me and to others. And even when I asked for a refund as a form of repair, I was shot down. Like crazy work, crazy, crazy work. But I'm also in places where I am being encouraged to sell. I am being encouraged to promote. And not just that, but now a community I'm creating, it's the same. How can we be there to support one another truly? And the reason this matters for expansion in your business, sales, finances, all that stuff is because we are, number one, we're social animals. Like we need to be around the right people. And we are the what is it? Like you are the sum of the top 5 people you spend the most time with. And this has made me think like, who do I really want to be moving into 2026? And who do I need to be around for that to happen? And vice versa. Like, who do I want to be for other people? How do I want to show up in regenerative ways for the people in my life? It's been a journey to understand the power of a regenerative relationship, of a regenerative community, because it's something that just isn't really advocated for in society and in culture. And it's something that as you deconstruct from really like colonization and deconstruct from capitalism a little bit, you start realizing there's all sorts of really cool ways to restructure your life and relationships to get the experiences and the growth and that you want in order to become who you're meant to be, in order to have the businesses that you want to have, the finances and the sales and the clients. And it's just been a really powerful experience to go through all of those things all at once and be able to hold all of it and see what is correct and is aligned and what isn't correct and is not aligned. Yeah, I'm telling you, when you are with the right communities, it will skyrocket your progress. You will be busting through ceilings that would have taken a year or two or longer to get there, to get through on your own. And in extractive spaces, that's not going to happen because it's not giving you the energy that you need to get to that next level, to expand into that new space, to help your nervous system just settle and be well. Um, so I don't know, there's really something here about like correct relationship, aligned relationship. And I don't just mean like romantic relationship. This can be business partnerships. This can be friends. This can be communities that you're in. This is definitely mentors. Anyone that you're spending um, one-on-one time with in a close proximity kind of way, make sure that they are pouring into you correctly and not just trying to upsell you every single time that they have a new offer or like that they, aren't pushing and pushing and pushing sales even after you've said no. Um, it makes a difference when you're seen as a whole person in a communal space, even when there are business owners in there. Being able to see people as just human rather than a bank, rather than a source of cash flow, I think is a really important paradigm shift that a lot of business owners need to have at some points in time, because it really is the community that creates us. Like I know I would not be who I am without the community that I have with me right now. And that has been such a beautiful lesson of 2025. And those relationships that were extractive, they're gone now. Like I don't even need them. I'm fine. I'm better than fine. I'm doing great. And if you're listening to this, I hope that you also start seeking out the regenerative people in your life, the ones who are happy to show up for you and to hold you when life gets hard and to be there and support you through business, through sales, for through just the thick of life when things happen, because your growth and your evolution matter. The work that you do for this world matters. And to be with anything or anyone else at this point just isn't it for me. It's just like not even worth it. Like I won't even entertain that. If I'm seeing someone move funny or be a little sideways, like I'm out. I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for that. That's not where I want to put my energy. I want to put my energy into my people, into my clients, into even deeper mentorship with people who I know will be correct and aligned. It's such an interesting thing how my nervous system responds to extractive spaces versus life affirming spaces. I'm a whole different person. I'm able to speak freely. I'm able to have way more fun. And that's so important, y'all. Please be having fun with your life this year. Please go do that. Be in awe, be in joy, be in wonder. Go be whimsical, go be weird. Like, just really go live and find your fullest expression that needs to come out. And please go do that, because it really amps up your quality of life. It just makes your days so much more magical, and it helps with manifestation a lot faster whenever you're able to be in awe and wonder and joy. And then when you're around the right people, it is incredible work that can get done in this world. And the world needs that, and you need that. So here's just some takeaways that you can do. Just take stock of your relationships and see, who gets to be in my inner circle and who needs to be kind of pushed out of my inner circle, who needs to be excluded entirely, who needs to be maybe on the second or third ring of my outer circle. Um, and just take note of what characteristics that you want to embody and who already embodies those, and start playing with that energy. Start finding where there is that magnetizing situation happening, because I promise, like, who you want to be, you're gonna get there faster with the right people. Yeah, I'm just in such awe of these lessons this year, because they were not fun to go through. It was not fun to not get a refund for my ideas being stolen, for other people's work being stolen, and that didn't feel good. That didn't feel good. But what felt really good was everyone who was there with me in that process. What felt really good is everyone who left from that extractive space. They're thriving now. They are safe now. They're creating new offers now. And this is the power that, like, I just want to bring to people is, when we work together, whether that's in an energy healing session or you're in my community, it's like my baseline is collaboration. The baseline is reciprocity. The baseline is joy. The baseline is also working through sticky, resistant areas and working through loss, working through grief, working through fear, working through anger. Like, we cannot get to awe and joy and wonder if we're over here not processing anger or grief or those things when they arise. And that's part of just building a healthy ecosystem within your body. That's part of building a healthy ecosystem in your external relationships and communities, is being able to work with the what is and then getting into the what I want it to be. We got to be with what is first. So anyways, as I'm recording this, it is officially January 2nd, and that marks my 5th year of sobriety, of being alcohol free. And that I'm just celebrating that along with all these beautiful new relationships I have, new communities I'm in, some old, some new, but that I've left the extraction behind. And I also let them know what they were doing incorrectly and how it was affecting the people and their OG community that they had built years ago, and how I let them know everything, So it's just like, hey, this is what needs to change. Whether they change that is up to them. Like, they're offended, well, that's their medicine too. If they're triggered, that's their medicine. And my medicine has been finding the people who are like really in my corner, and I'm also in their corner. So, anyways, I'm just celebrating all these beautiful things and lessons, and go make your list, go check it twice on the type of people you want to be around, the type of dynamics you want to be in. And my last note here is I want to speak on what a high control group looks like and what something psychologically unsafe looks like within like healer spiritual spaces. The extractive group that I was in was definitely a high control group. And high control groups and psychologically unsafe groups look like whenever it is we kind of got some saviorism going on, like I'm the one and this thing is going to change the world. And it's like there's a million bazillion modalities out there. Like, they all work. Stop it. Yours isn't better than someone else's. Like, sit down, be humble. That's not right. Psychologically unsafe groups, high control groups look like you can't talk about other things, you can't ask questions, you can't challenge the people in leadership, you can't challenge that without being ostracized or kicked out of community without a refund. Hi, that one was me. It's really gross, and it does a lot of damage to people emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically, obviously. So as you're making your list and checking it twice, be aware, like how does that leadership respond to challenge? How does that leadership respond to questions? How does it respond to autonomy and sovereignty? How does the community feel about this? Use those as kind of your North Star whenever you are assessing mentorship and community and people to work with, because the last thing you want to do is trap yourself in something accidentally, unconsciously, that is actively harmful. Like we're so done with that. 2025 really like broke down those walls and barriers. Yeah, I love you. Be with people who love you.